Hey guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Simplykrystelle, and today's video is going to be something that is so dear to me, and I'm going to share with you guys how to start your self-love journey if you are on a self-love journey, or if you're someone who's struggling with loving yourself. And I'm just here to talk to you guys about how to start that journey, because it is a journey. It's not something that happens overnight. It takes a while, and trust me, I'm still on my self-love journey, and I've been on it since like 18. But it's a journey, and I'm just here to share with you guys like my experiences with self-love and just some advice. Now, I am not a licensed professional or like a life coach or anything, so I just wanted to put that as a disclaimer out there. I'm just someone normal who's just very passionate about confidence and self-love and all that stuff, and I just wanted to share what I know with you guys. So if you want to see all the self-love journey things, just keep watching. So first, I thought we would start off with the definition of self-love. So self-love is when you love yourself. It's just like the word self-love. You love yourself, but you love yourself so much that you wouldn't want to change, or you wouldn't want to be somebody else, right? So self-love, it's the fact that you can wake up in the morning and be so happy with who you are, and you're happy with yourself. You love yourself. You are proud of you, and you're happy to be in your body. You're happy to wake up as yourself every single day. So a little bit of backstory about me is that in high school and like early adolescence, like 18, 19, 20, I struggled so much with self-love. Like, I used to literally walk with my head down like this. I had zero confidence. I did not like my body. I thought I was too big, even though I was pretty slim. I felt like I was like the ugly friend out of my friend group. I felt like the ugly duckling. I was not happy. I had a lot of like confidence issues. I literally, I could say like I hated myself. I hated looking in the mirror because I did not like the person that I saw. And it's not that anybody made me feel this way. Like, nobody like was bullying me or anything. It's just how I felt, you know? So it's not like I was bullied. I wasn't like, you know, made fun of in high school or anything. I was very quiet. I just kind of kept to myself. But I wasn't like made fun of or anything like that. But I just did not like myself. And when I was like 18, 19, 20, I did not like myself. I always wanted to be someone else. Like, I felt like I wasn't good enough. I always felt like, you know, when I would meet people and like my friends, I was like, why can't I be more like my friends? Why can't I be more like them? Why can't I be more likable? I felt like I wasn't likable. I felt like people didn't like my personality. I felt like people didn't like me. Like, I had so much self-doubt and so much self-hatred. Like, I hated my personality. I felt like I was not a likable person. I felt like I had to change my personality. I felt like I had to be more outgoing. I felt like I had to be like this person who wasn't me. So I had a lot of like conflicting issues, and I was such a people pleaser. Like, I would want to please everybody. I would want everybody to like me. I would want everybody to not be mad at me, nobody to like hate me, anything. And it's exhausting. It is so exhausting being like that. And so it just kind of cut up to me. So I woke up one day and I was like, you know what? I'm not living for me. I'm not living for myself. I'm living for other people. So I decided to really live for me and stop living for others. And I decided that I need to love myself, because nobody can love me more than I love me. And I realized that everybody out there is going through something. You know, so it's kind of like, why am I taking my life for granted and taking my experiences for granted and hating this person I was born as and being unhappy? So it wasn't worth it. It really wasn't worth all the self-doubt, all the self-hatred, because at the end of the day, I was hurting myself, which is like the biggest mistake I made, you know, hurting myself and wasting time. So I really want if you are struggling with like self-confidence or self-love, or you feel like you're not good enough, or you're not pretty enough, or you're not skinny enough, or you're not like light enough, or your hair's not like anything, because society is so like the brainwashing of society is so like messed up. It really is. If you look at the standards of beauty, you know, they're starting to change, but not really. Like even in the beauty industry, you see campaigns for makeup brands, you know, like you see like the look, you see all the Instagram girls, you see all the TikTok girls, you see all these girls that they're selling you this look, and everybody wants to look like them. And it's like, no, like not everyone looks like that. And I think that you have to be comfortable in your own skin, and you have to be comfortable with who you are to really, really love yourself. And it's like, it hurts me so much when people like tell me like they don't think that they're good enough or anything. I'm like, what? Like, of course you are. You are born for a reason. You're here for a reason. And when people say that, I just think about like me, like how silly was I back then, thinking all of these negative things about myself. And if you're sitting here watching this video and you're going through some self-love issues or self-doubt or self-hatred, I want you to know that you are not alone. There are millions of people who go through this. I still sometimes doubt myself, of course, but I'm way better than I was at 18, 19. Like I actually wake up every day and I thank, you know, God for waking me up, and I'm happy with who I am, and I'm happy with who I was born, and I accept myself. And that's one of the biggest things too. Like you have to accept yourself, and you have to accept everything about you. You have to accept the way you look. You have to accept your personality. Unless if you want to change something, because there's always room for improvement. Like when I mean like, you know, change like your personality, like I mean like if you have, you know, certain traits that you feel like are hurting you and things like that. But I just mean like, for example, like I speak like this, right? So people in middle school used to say, why do you talk like that? You know, you talk very white and stuff. And I'm like, white? So I used to think like, wait, am I not black? Like, I mean, I know I'm black. I'm a black woman. But I would be like, wait, do I have to change the way I talk? You know, because, you know, but, so just things like that. Like, just think about, accept those aspects of you. And at the end of the day, guys, to be honest, there's people who are just not gonna like you. And that's life. There are people who are gonna love you. There are people who are not gonna really stand you, no matter what you do. And that was something I struggled with. Like when I felt like somebody, when I was younger, when I felt like somebody didn't like me, I was like, oh my gosh, okay, let me change myself so that, you know, I kind of alter myself to basically make them like me. But at the end of the day, if they don't like you, they don't like you. It doesn't matter if you change yourself a million times, that person is not going to like you. And what's more important is that you like you. So I think that if we change ourselves to alter ourselves to make someone like us, like you're hurting yourself because you're not being true to who you are. Some advice that I have for, you know, self-love and helping you with self-love would be listen to podcasts. When I'm driving, instead of music, I would listen to self-love podcasts. I have one that I really love, and it's the Goddess Confessions. Oh my god, by Simply Shanika. These are amazing podcasts. She is amazing. I will leave them down below. There's a bunch of self-love podcasts on Spotify. I have Spotify. I don't have Apple Music or anything, but there's so many like self-love podcasts there. And there's, if you just Google self-love, or if you just go on YouTube and look up self-love, you'll find a lot of resources. So I would definitely recommend listening to self-love podcasts, listening to self-love segments or like shows, or just anything that's just positive and something you can listen to. And even instead of listening to the radio and driving, listen to a podcast, a self-love podcast. Those have helped me a lot. And another thing that I really love is affirmations. Affirmations really do work, you guys. Like affirmations work. Like if I tell you 6 months ago, I am honestly so much more confident than I was 6 months ago. And I think it's all because of the podcast, the affirmations. Like affirmations start with I, and that's what I love, because it's like, I love my body, or I am beautiful. And when you say those affirmations to yourself, say it in front of a mirror, because you're looking at yourself. And something that I really, really, really believe is that you have to love yourself to be happy. You have to be okay with yourself. You have to be okay with being with yourself, but alone. You cannot find self-love outside of yourself. It starts with you. And trust me, I never thought I would be in a place where I'm so happy with myself, and I'm so happy to be Krystelle, and I wake up and I'm so grateful to be this person. I used to think that I was like the most horrible person in the world, and I feel like I was always going to be like alone and stuff. And I'm like, you know what? I want to love myself. I want to be happy. So because I want to do that, I made those changes, and I have never felt so liberated in my life before. I've never felt just so at peace. I've never felt so whole, because I'm myself. I love myself, and I want you guys to know that. Say those affirmations every day before you go to sleep, and in the morning say those affirmations, because trust me, they help a lot. Another thing that's very important is that if you're on your self-love journey, surround yourself with positive people. When I started my whole self-love journey and really, really sticking to it, I lost a really good friend, and I think it's just because this friend, when I didn't really have much confidence, I would allow a lot of things to happen. I would allow for her to speak to me a certain way, or say certain things to me, and very negative things. And ever since really sticking to my self-love, I was like, no more. Like, I love myself so much that I can't allow someone to disrespect me constantly. And when you love yourself, you respect yourself, and you respect your body and your feelings and your emotions and your space. So you have to surround yourself with positive people who really have good intentions for you, and who want to see you win, and who want to see you do well. So I think when you love yourself and you really respect yourself, you'll start realizing what you deserve and what you don't deserve. You start your whole self-love journey, and when you start really loving yourself and respecting yourself, you'll see such a change in your friends, and you'll see a change in who you surround yourself with, because there are certain things that you won't allow from people anymore. Like, you won't allow disrespect from people. You won't allow people to treat you a certain way, because you value yourself and you love yourself, so you have those standards and those boundaries. And trust me, when you are super confident and really confident in yourself, people will not be able to treat you a certain way. Another thing that is huge in your self-love journey is you have to stop comparing yourself to other people, which is something that I used to do so much. And I haven't compared myself to anybody in a very long time, and I trained myself not to, because when I would catch myself do it, I would be like, okay, oh, you're comparing yourself, stop comparing yourself, and revert and focus on something else. So I think comparing yourself is very, very hurtful to you, because there's always going to be, guys, there's always going to be someone who has more clothes than you, or there's always going to be someone who has more materialistic things than you, or someone who's going to be richer than you, but you have to stop comparing yourself to other people. And the reason why I say you have to stop comparing yourself is because what does it do for you when you sit there and you compare your life or the way you look to someone else who you've never met, or even someone you know? What is that going to do? What is that going to change for you? Instead of comparing yourself to someone, maybe work hard, or let's say, I don't know, let's say you want to be a makeup artist, or you want to be a dentist or something, right? And let's say someone has your dream job and someone's doing what you want to do. Why don't you work for it? Why don't you go and do what you have to do to get there? I like this quote, and I have this quote on my YouTube in the description box. The quote says, A flower does not think of competing to the flower next to it. It just blooms. So you are a flower and you're not thinking about what the other flowers are doing. You're just blooming. So don't compare yourself or compete with other people. Do not do that, because that's going to hurt you. It's going to hurt you a lot. So just work on yourself, you guys. Like, all we have really is ourselves. Like, of course we have family, of course we have, you know, friends and significant others and all that. But one of my favorite quotes is this from Beyonce's song. I think I've quoted it before. It says, when you're staring all alone at yourself, are you happy with yourself? And it's like, that hit deep, because it's true. Like, when you lay down to go sleep, or when you're in the bathroom alone, you're looking in the mirror, you're with yourself. There's nobody there to tell you how beautiful you look or whatever. You have to be able to tell yourself that. And you have to stop competing and stop comparing yourself to other people. It's hard. It's really, really hard. It's really hard, especially with where we are right now as a society. It's really hard to compare ourselves when we're constantly being shoved with all of these standards of beauty and all of these things. It's hard, especially, like, I feel like being a woman, and you know, it's really hard. And even the guys, like, they have it too, because they have these actors and models and all these things that girls are like lusting after. So it is hard to not compare yourself, but just do not compare yourself, because it will definitely decline your confidence a lot. Before we end this video, because I didn't want to do like a too long video, because I'm trying to keep my videos under 15 minutes. And if you guys want to see more of these types of videos, I am definitely open to filming them. Just let me know in the comment section if you want to see more videos like this. But another thing that I stopped doing was I stopped hating on myself. And when I mean to stop hating myself, I stopped saying negative things to myself. Like, I would sometimes go in the mirror and say, oh, look at your nose is like so bad, or why can't your lips be more, you know, shaped and more beautiful, or why do you have such dark spots, or, you know, things like that, things that were really hurting me and things that were not good. Or I would be like, oh my god, look at your belly. Like, to myself, I would say, look at these arms. I would say, oh my god, look at these legs. Those are all things that stick with you. Even if you think them one time or two times, guys, they stick with you. Once you put that out there, it sticks with you. Or I would talk about, like, my teeth, or I would just literally break myself down. I would be like, nobody's ever gonna love you, nobody's ever gonna like you, because look at how you look, you're not pretty enough. Or I would literally tear myself down, and I was doing it to myself. Nobody was doing it to me. I was the one hurting myself. So when you're hating on yourself, you are the one doing all this hurting, and then you carry that hurt with you all the time, and it translates. People can sense it, people can see it, and then you attract the wrong people, because some people are really good at sensing, you know, people who might not love themselves that much, or people who might be going through confidence issues, and they will literally target those people and put you under their little wing and hurt you and do all these things to you. So just what I want to say is that don't hate on yourself, and don't bring yourself down, because you're really hurting yourself, and you are the most important thing. I mean, if you have children, of course, they're very important, but don't lose sight of who you are, and don't try to please other people, because at the end of the day, when you're alone, you're with yourself. You're not with all those people you're trying to please. And the thing about friendships and all those things, I know, like, being young and 18, 19, 20s, you know, I'm 26 now, so I'm like kind of like late 20s. The thing about being young is that everything seems so permanent, and everything seems like it's like the end of the world, and everything just seems so dramatic and stuff. But honestly, like, looking back at, like, when I was younger, I'm like, you know, it wasn't that serious, and I feel like I could have been doing so much more, like, with myself and focusing on myself instead of focusing on such petty, stupid things. Self-love is a journey, and it's such an empowering journey, and I think it's worth it. So if you are starting your self-love journey, don't give up. It's gonna take time. It's not gonna happen overnight. Don't give up, but keep going. Just say one affirmation a day. One affirmation. It could be, I love myself, I am nice, I am a good person, I am lovable. One or two things. And change how you view yourself, because the way you view yourself is all that matters. So I know this video was like not too long, but I didn't want to do like a too long video. But I really hope that, you know, this whole thing can be a series here on my channel. I'm really passionate about confidence, self-love, self-esteem, body image. That is what I'm so passionate about, and I love talking about it. So if you guys have anything that you want to see regarding this topic, I'm thinking of making a series on my channel. Please let me know in the comment section down below, and thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe if you have not yet, and I will see you guys on my next video. Bye.